Hello there, guys. This is your girl Megan. Welcome back to my channel if you're already a subscriber. But if this is your first time joining me on today, go ahead, hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. So tonight I wanted to do a quick little reading on Miss Laurie Harvey. Now, I did not know who Laurie Harvey was until very recently. She is the stepdaughter of Steve Harvey and the daughter of his wife, Marjorie. So I believe Marjorie had Laurie from a previous relationship. Since then, Laurie has gone on to be an equestrian. And back in 2015, she actually injured herself and decided to pursue modeling basically as a career. And really what brought her like just across my radar was the fact that she's dating, or she was dating, my longtime bae, Trey Songz, aka Tremaine, aka Panty Dropper, aka, like Zaddy. She was dating Zaddy. And I just thought it to be particularly odd because I'm like, wait a minute, isn't Zaddy like 32 and isn't she like 22? But I mean, I guess that's just Hollywood, right? 10-year difference. I guess that just doesn't matter these days. But she was specifically in the news for not only dating Trey Songz, but she has supposedly dated a host of other celebrities as well. So she had one fiance. I'm not really sure what he did or what he does, but he does something, right? And they were engaged back in 2015. They broke up, and then allegedly she was tied to Future. And there was this scandal because as she was seen, gallivanting the city, trolloping about with Trey Songz, Future pretty much kind of like insinuated that, okay, like, oh wow, so you're moving on, like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you ducked too quick. You ducked too quick. Okay, that's how we're doing. So everybody was like, oh, okay, so clearly there was something going on with Future that she didn't really tie off those ends before she jumped headfirst into her little situation with Trey Songz. And then more recently, people noticed her at some party with one of P. Diddy's sons, all cozied up and, nice and looking real cute and fresh together, which led a lot of people to believe, did she dump Trey Songz? So apparently she is just catching all the W's because she's bagging all of these fine ass niggas. Well, with the exception of Future. Future looks like a llama on meth. But neither here nor there. She's still managing to date all of these pretty notable celebrities. And quite frankly, in a very player-ass kind of way. So one of my subscribers actually recommended that I take a look at her chart, and that's exactly what I'm going to do, okay? So without further ado, let's get started. So Laurie Harvey was born on January 13th, 1997 in Memphis, Tennessee. So this makes her a Capricorn sun, with her sun being in the 23rd degree of Capricorn, and then her moon being in the 26th degree of Pisces. Now, just looking at her chart, she's a hardcore Capricorn. She has a Capricorn stellium. And I can just tell you right off the bat, I don't know what her mother's natal chart is looking like, but a lot of people gave her mother, and still to this day give Marjorie Harvey flack for being a gold digger, because really quick, Marjorie is Steve Harvey's like second or maybe even third wife, okay? And she married Steve Harvey during a time where he completely left the women who came up with him, like his wives, right? Previous wives, high and dry. Kind of like that whole once, a man kind of reaches a certain caliber of celebrity, he upgrades his wife. And Marjorie was like the ultimate upgrade, quote unquote, right? So a lot of people kind of associate her with being a gold digger. Now, as this relates to Laurie Harvey, you can see a lot of this in her chart because she has a lot of Capricorn energy. And here's the thing with Capricorns, right? Especially Capricorn women. Because Capricorn is the natural ruler of the 10th house, it governs status, career, reputation, okay? And these women tend to fall into two different categories. So you have the Capricorn women who are pretty like hardworking, okay? These people who really enjoy authority, who look up to authority, who potentially would even make great authority figures just because they're so hardworking, so enduring, so disciplined, right? And you have those women, but then you have the Capricorn women who are gold diggers, women who enjoy status, wealth, fame, recognition, all of those things, but they prefer to do so by way of other people, okay? These are women who are enamored with power, enamored with men who are in powerful positions. These can be women who attach themselves to men in powerful positions. And they tend to carry a sense of elitism about them that kind of puts them, or in their eyes, puts them and sets them apart from the rest of us, the rest of the world, the common folks. So and when you take a look at their aesthetic, right? Because like I said, I don't really have a strong opinion on Marjorie nor Laurie Harvey one way or the other, because I really didn't know them that well. Like I didn't know of them that well prior to this reading. I feel like they have that quintessential Capricorn woman like look. They're glamorous, very enamored in fashion. I mean, Marjorie just so happens to be with Steve Harvey, one of the top grossing comedians of all time. Well, I don't know. I kind of made that stat up, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like the man hosts like Family Feud. Okay, you get my point. So he's not like a nobody, right? And so as this pertains to bringing this back full circle to Miss Laurie Harvey here and her Capricorn stellium, I'm seeing, just before I even look at anything else, this could actually explain her tendency to kind of hop from celebrity guy to celebrity guy to celebrity guy, right? Because right away, this is giving me very much opportunist tease. And now that I'm looking at Marjorie's chart, her Black Moon Lilith is actually at the 0 degree of Capricorn. Once again, reinforcing this theme of materialism, this theme of elitism, being a gold digger. And Black Moon Lilith is really what I always call like Mars on crack. It's kind of like this hypothetical point in your chart that pretty much brings about a lot of the darker qualities. It represents your most inner, darkest shadow self, animalistic desires. Like I said, kind of similar to Mars, but cranked up to like 1,000. And it also encompasses a lot of very sexual kind of inclinations and even cruel and evil intentions. So with her Lilith being in the sign of Capricorn, like I said, it just kind of reinforces this gold digging theme that I'm seeing here. And Marjorie has her sun in the 17th degree of Libra, with her moon in the 14th degree of Sagittarius. And her sun is conjoined to her Mercury in Libra. And Libra is also, because it's governed by Venus, can be a very superficial sign as well. So that's enough of Marjorie, because this reading isn't about Marjorie. But I did that just to provide a little bit of context as far as, the woman who raised Laurie, okay? So you have a woman who has a lot of that gold digger kind of energy signature to her. So when we take a look at Laurie, she has her Black Moon Lilith in the sign of Leo. And it's actually at that 22nd degree, which deals with situations where one is either being controlled or they could potentially be controlling someone else. And In this case, that Leo could absolutely represent the entertainment industry. And with her Lilith forming a trine to her Juno, this could be Laurie attracting older men in the entertainment industry. Her having these relationships with men who are her senior and possibly even doing so to kind of, level up in the industry, to network, to be able to kind of open up different opportunities for her. There's this element of manipulation. And with that 22nd degree, this could either be on her part, so her manipulating the relationships that in her networks and connections with these men, or them manipulating her, or promising her fame, promising her things, or just holding things over her head, maybe, and making her feel like she could potentially kind of climb up that industry ladder if she follows their rules and plays by their games. Her sun is forming a quincunx to her Black Moon Lilith, which, once again reinforces this theme of her dealing with men who are very powerful and also very controlling. Now, because your sun can also signify the father, this could potentially, it could even apply to stepfathers as well, like major father figures in one's life. This could even represent Steve Harvey. So this could even point towards Laurie being under very tight restriction, perhaps Steve setting very specific standards and expectations for her. Perhaps it could even be him helping her kind of jump her career off, right? Or him having a hand in her image, in her career, in the trajectory of her career. Perhaps him providing connections. Him working behind the scenes in some kind of way to kind of help her attain a certain level of status. And this could even be her just being known, right, for being Steve Harvey's daughter, which has brought her a lot of press by proxy of him. Because let's just be honest, I don't think we would really give a fuck. I didn't know her as an equestrian, and I wouldn't know her as a model had it not been for Steve Harvey being her father / stepfather. Now, her sun is conjoined to her Neptune, and this can produce a few things in her situation. So I know that her father, her actual biological father, if I'm not mistaken, was a drug dealer in Memphis. And as far as I know, I believe he's still doing a bid in prison. And so this could actually, especially with that Neptune influence, because Neptune does deal with drugs, this could deal with having a father who actually was a drug dealer. This could also signify her career in modeling, but also kind of produce somebody who there tends to be this kind of mysticism around their identity, to the point where people, either they're not sure of who they are, or other people aren't really aware of who they are. So these people could actually put on a front, so to speak, to the public, and kind of exist behind a mask. And she could also be somebody who's seen a lot, who knows a lot, both about the industry as well as men in this industry. And she has a lot of indicators in her chart of, just her being either taken advantage of by older men, or even being groomed to kind of even be in this position that she's in. And with her Sun and Neptune squaring her Juno, which is actually conjoined to her Saturn as well as her South Node of Aries, this can make her somebody who is just almost like a compulsive dater. And this definitely can explain her kind of entering these relationships that are overlapping one another. And that Aries energy, especially Aries South Node people, are very impulsive. They're very sex driven, and they're also very selfish. And I would even go as far to say she was probably even a man in a former lifetime, okay? And so she's here incarnated in this life, and as a result, she's kind of handling herself and her relationships and stuff like a nigga would, She wants what she wants, and a lot of her wants are based off of things that are going to benefit her, that are going to benefit her career. Like I said, that Aries thing is very selfish, and then that Capricorn energy is just like it wants recognition, it wants power. So if a man isn't really going to suit her needs, she has no qualms about jumping to the next. Thank you, next. Have a good one. I'm good, love, and joy. Ultimately, I'm going to do what's best for me. And that's another thing about Capricorns. They tend to be very good at self-preservation. And that Sun squaring Juno aspect in particular can point towards somebody who actually prefers short term relationships, because 9 times out of 10, they're more than likely focused either on their career or their social standing. Capricorn women can be very like business first, when it comes to their relationships with people. And if they can find somebody who can kind of help them out better than the next person, then they'll jump on that. They'll jump on board. So once again, it kind of just goes back to this theme of me first. And it really falls right in line with her Aries South node too. So she's in this lifetime, Laurie is here to pretty much serve her own purposes, be it whether it's fulfilling her career as a model or her kind of climbing this ladder of being like a socialite slash public figure. But either way, being known is her number one objective, actually. And with her Jupiter is actually at the 28th degree of Capricorn, and that 28th degree is very close to the Aneretic degree, which I always say deals with third party situations, or maybe like an interfering third party, as well as just lots of upheavals, crisis. I mean, just all kinds of shit. So, and her Jupiter is actually conjoined to her Neptune, which can point towards her. I mean, it reinforces this gold digger thing because it deals with somebody who is addicted to luxury. Okay, they're addicted to the best things in life, and they can be very susceptible to scandal. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if something came out, like if she made the news or the headlines for being associated with another man. Now, something that I'm thinking about that happened actually today or yesterday was Jay-Z's Rock Nation brunch that he has every year. And the Beehive, oh my God, like, as they always do, they pick apart every single part, moment of the brunch. But what a lot of people saw was that they had Laurie on videotape. She's talking to Jay-Z, and she was smiling, and what a lot of people felt to be like too hard in his face. And the Beehive went on full attack and basically were like, why are you all up in Jay-Z's face, and you're too close to him, and da 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 da. Well, and I'm not here to say that she was trying to make a move on Jay-Z or not. Obviously I wasn't there. I don't know. But just based on the theme of her chart, which is power, status, powerful men, sometimes even abusive power, extravagance, and with this Jupiter and Neptune scandal and gossip, she can absolutely put herself in situations to where it's like she's drawn to powerful men and could possibly do things to kind of compromise her reputation, so to speak, or do things to where put herself in positions out of just all in the name of her achieving recognition and achieving status and kind of getting ahead, and then it coming off the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? It backfiring. Her being the subject of, like I said, scandal and gossip as a result. So there's that. And the reason why I keep getting the feeling like Harvey was kind of groomed to be this way was because she has a lot of aspects, like more harsh aspects and placements as it pertains to her moon. Now, I always say people who have their moon in the sign of Pisces, Capricorn, and Virgo tend to have it rough as far as the relationship with the mother or their experience with their mother. Pisces moon tend to have a disconnection, right? There tends to be this kind of lack of emotional connection between the mother and child. Now, the aspects that her moon is making, so for instance, her moon is in quincunx to her Chiron. Her Chiron is in the sign of Scorpio, which typically deals with people who suffered a lot of abuse. And it could be sexual abuse, people who've encountered more of like the darker sides of life, people who have very domineering parents, domineering or controlling, manipulative even parents. So, I mean, her moon being in quincunx to her Scorpio Chiron could deal with her having a mother that's very manipulative, very secretive, a mom that's very intrusive, even controlling. Her moon is also forming a quincunx to her black moon Lilith, which, remember what I said, is at that 22nd degree of Leo. So this could even have this could result in having a mom that's, I don't know if it's, I don't want to say a momager, but a mom that's very much influenced by the public, and could even, her mom could possibly even be running her career and helping her make moves and putting her in certain positions and even helping her navigate her career. And like I said, that 22, it's literally like somebody is in the driver's seat and somebody clearly isn't. And I'm actually, and now that I'm looking at this article that's saying that Laurie has been modeling since she was 3, and I did not know that. So this definitely could reinforce this theme of her being or at least Marjorie being a stage mom, So, I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't even be surprised if her mom actually kind of sets her up with guys, or even grooming her to be this kind of industry darling, to make it in the spotlight. Now that I'm looking at all of her, Capricorn placements, and given that she has this stellium, this could actually point towards somebody who grew up very early. And a lot of kids, or like whether you want to call them former child stars or people who have been acting, singing, dancing, and modeling from very, very early, tend to kind of follow a similar kind of trajectory as far as them living very fast lives, and 9 times out of 10 encountering some very fucked up shit, to be quite honest. And she has a lot of things in her chart that do point towards abuse, that point towards her being taken advantage of, but that's just a different reading for a different day. Now, what I did do, which is kind of different from what I normally do with my readings, I actually pulled a tarot card on what her demeanor is, her position, and that's really what I asked. What's her demeanor? What's Laurie's position? What represents her as a person? And I ended up pulling 7 of Swords in reverse. And this card deals with somebody who is keeping secrets. It deals with deceit. It deals with illusions. And it's pretty much like on an internal level. Somebody who is hiding something from the people around them. somebody who is even, I mean, you can even interpret this as somebody who is engaging in certain behaviors and activities that either people know nothing about, or maybe they're fearful or ashamed to come out and say and reveal to others. So, yeah. And it honestly just reinforces this theme of, like I said, that deceit, illusions, a lot of grandstanding in the name of status, right? Appearance, keeping up with the optics of things. And it just really brings home the fact that everything that glitters isn't gold, you know? So there's that. So yeah, drop down in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of this reading, as well as any suggestions you may have for future readings. And with that being said, make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. And until next time, I holla.